Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Sons of Montezuma podcast. The Aztecs survive a near disaster, a buzzer beater, 77-76 win against Air Force. We're going to get into it all. Mateo San Diego, SG Sports Fiend, stick around. We'll see you in a sec.
This one would tie it. Off rip twice, one tipped in! Osley Silla Husky!
No way!
Got to catch it on the run. The Gorville inbounds. McKinney, 2 seconds, all the way to the basket, layup, around and down! Count it!
No way!
At the horn, and San Diego State survives!
You serious? This is shades of Tyus Edney. Catch it on the banana cut. Full head of steam. The gutsy finish from the senior transfer. Wow! What a play!
Last second shot, we down, you need a play. 3 ball in your face, hype, DJ Gay. He's living the plane, reliving all the replay. He's just leading the way.
All right, did that just happen, guys? Oh boy, how's everybody doing? Sons of Montezuma, we're back. We're back. Second episode this week. You cannot go without talking about this crazy buzzer beater that happened against Air Force. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. sonsmontezuma.com for your NIL shop and all of our creations. It's Mateo San Diego, joined by, well, you know him as SD Sports Fiend. What's going on, man? How are you? How's your blood pressure after last night? Oh, you have to speak up for that one. You have to speak up for that one.
Oh, sorry, I'm on mute here. So definitely elevated for that game. What does John Rothstein say? Grab your nitroglycerin pills, because that was almost gave me a heart attack.
Almost. Well, this game was so crazy you cannot not talk about it. It's all we were talking about today. I know at work, a couple buddies, hey, see that game last night? 77-76, the Aztecs escape disaster, and you could tell from the commentator's voice. I mean, it was just an unbelievable play. Mike did a tremendous job on his heart in the paint. He sent that to me like super late after the game. And, you never expect these games to be that exciting against Air Force. I mean, we went on a 40-4 run against them at home. So we struggled with them in the beginning of the game, but on the road against Air Force, it's generally not this exciting. Generally not.
No, not at all. I mean, you're talking about a KenPom team in the 200s. We were 14, 15 point favorites. I mean, I figured we were just going to walk in there and get a nice, easy 10-point win. And even after halftime, I wasn't that nervous. 4-point lead, and I was like, okay, we'll just blow it out in the second half. And nope, the exact opposite. They took us to the wire. Got to give credit to Air Force. I know I haven't been giving them a lot of respect on the pod here, but they played outstanding. I mean, that big guy was fantastic. Ethan Taylor was hitting shots from deep. Really good game plan against us, and they made it tough on us.
And this was a game that both of our star players, Miles Bird, BJ Davis, right? They got knocked out of the game, man, towards the end after, Miles definitely struggled. It was 0 for 6 and 3-point shots. He only finished with 8 points. It was just a game where, I was sitting there watching with Sergio and Chino, and it was kind of like, something's not right. I mean, all the foul calls, I think, what did it total? Over almost 60 foul calls in total. It was just a really odd game. There's nobody in the arena, really. And those games are sometimes the toughest to get up for. I mean, you're playing there in an environment that's not really an environment. And, Bird definitely had his struggles, man. I mean, you got a tech from the ref, and, you could dwell on all these different bad things. They shouldn't have been in this position, right? I mean, I know we were looking at the game like, I can't believe this is going to happen. 3-win Air Force, and, the game shouldn't have been close. What did you think when they got that tip in, though? The tip in on the free throw, you're thinking, okay, there's no way that could happen. They take the lead.
Yeah, I was absolutely shocked. I didn't think they would, be able to get in there. I thought we would wall off and keep them off the, the boards. But the guy, I guess JCJ kind of tried to push him out of the way, and in doing so, he kind of lost his balance. And the big guy who was just killing us all game, I don't think he missed a shot from the field. He was able to slip between two of our defenders and just reach up there and tip it in just as the ball was coming off the rim. Had it still a second earlier, it would have been a violation, and we would have had the ball. So unfortunate, but we had some time, and it was we were all wondering who's going to get the ball here, and so it was just a prayer at that point. We got to win this game. We cannot lose this game on the road. You cannot lose a quad 4 game to Air Force if you want to A, stay in the hunt for a Mountain West championship, but B, you're off the bubble at that point if you lose to Air Force.
The near disaster is probably putting it accurately, because we're coming in on the bubble into this game, and if McKinney doesn't take it coast to coast, I mean, can we just take a look at this just a little bit? Oh boy.
See the push by JCJ? If JCJ just puts the guy on his back and he goes up over him, that's a foul.
No,
he made up for it with that screen.
Okay, so that screen, do you call that? I mean, I don't think you ever call that in that situation, that screen, right? I mean, you gotta let.
That's an illegal screen.
I don't think so either. I mean, okay, he gets there right there. This type of thing happens all the time in this type of situation. That defender, he's got to keep his head on a swivel at all times. You're basically turning back, and bam, smacked.
You know what's funny is, like, in college basketball, this is a good screen. In college football, that's a 15-yard penalty.
Bam, right there. Now, they didn't guard the inbounder. So, I mean, what do you think they were thinking? They were just going to hurl it down, or they just wanted all their defense back? And they didn't really play much.
I think they were afraid to foul because we were in the double bonus. So you're going to back off a little bit. And, that's probably why they didn't want us to throw it over the top, right? Keep the guy in front of you. That's the problem. They couldn't keep McKinney's too fast. They couldn't keep him in front of him.
Just blows right by him. Bam.
Boom, gone. And then to get that off with like 0.4 left on the clock, you got two defenders converging on you, and then to softly lay that up off the rim, and then it bounces off the rim and then goes in. Ooh, man.
I just love when the bodies hit the floor. I mean, you're talking about multiple guys getting JCJ's pick right there that sends the dude to the ground, and then the two trying to block McKinney right here, just boink.
They all go down. And then it's just a mob scene like Trey Pulliam back, in 2021 against Nevada. Boom.
Tyus Edney from that angle right
there.
It
really was like a Tyus Edney drive, yeah.
That legendary.
I'll never forget that, yeah.
Now, McKinney was really probably the hottest one in this game. I mean, he finishes with 18 points, 6 of 11 shooting, 7 free throws. That was something we were talking about, getting to the line. Free throws, right? I don't think anybody wanted that many fouls in the game. Of course, Bird and Boyd are gone. Heidi got into foul trouble again. It's just one of those things. Like, good lord, what do you do?
JCJ's waving goodbye to the fans that aren't there. That was funny.
Oh, we'll pose that question. We'll pose that question. I saw Andy's question.
I think I mean, I really like BJ Davis and his ability to get downhill, but Wayne McKinney as well. He's one of the fastest guys on the team. At that, when you have 4 seconds or more, then you want to try to get downhill. If you don't have that much time, then it's got to be a pass, maybe longer, down the court and a shot at the other end, not a layup. But he just got it off just in the nick of time. And McKinney had been hot all game, so why not put it in the hands of your hot shooter who's been playing really well? I think that was probably what factored into that decision to give him that last second shot.
And I loved his quote in the post game, right? Asking him about the play, and gave a lot of love, a lot of praise to the whole team, right? Because it says you could have put it in anybody's hands. That's the confidence that the staff has. And you could have gave it to BJ. Of course, if Nick was in there, if Bird was in there, Taj was in there. He played some valuable minutes, and I mean,
Taj had it at the end of regulation, right?
Yeah, yeah, big bucket, timely bucket. So you love to hear that. You love to see a guy get his opportunity. We're stressing out when you saw Boyd and Bird both not on the court, but then you know what? You go into that situation in OT, and you're like, this is gonna be. It may not feel like this is a good game, right? You shouldn't be in that position against Air Force, but you're here. The adversity is there. Your leaders are unavailable. Who's going to step up? And this was that opportunity. And Wayne took advantage of it, right? JCJ took advantage of it, and the guys stepped up. It's good to see them come out with a win, that's for sure. But in that situation, when you need somebody to step up, McKinney stepped up big time.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be anytime a guy hits a game winner, that's going to be remembered for a long time. Like we look at Trey Pulliam, we look at Malachi Flynn, you look at Dwayne Polee versus Boise State. Who else do we have? We have Jamal Franklin against UNLV. Chase Tapley hit one, I think. Was it DJ Gay that hit one at CSU? So it's you're sort of in this like legendary status at this point. Obviously, Butler, we can't forget Butler too. I mean, hitting 2 major buzzer beaters, one at the Final Four and one at the Pit in 2023. But you're kind of in that sort of legendary status. It doesn't happen that often. So when it does happen, you got to celebrate it regardless of the opponent.
Now let me pose you this question, Fiend, because I just saw on X, the SDSU men's basketball team, they're giving out red jerseys to the first, I want to say 8,000 fans, 5,000 fans that come to the next home game. What is the deal with these red jerseys? Because here's the thing, they look sweet. They look amazing on the court. It don't matter, right? It pops, it stands out, that Aztec blood. Everybody loves the jerseys. They love the fits. But every time they wear them, it's a game like this, no matter the opponent. And they're breaking that out for Air Force, thinking, okay,
this is a win. Yeah.
We can go through the consequences of but let me tell you, when they wear the red kits, they win. They win ugly. They do win ugly, but they win. Underline the word win. So, I mean, come on. You can't let these things get into your head as if they have power over you. McKinney proved it. Malachi proved it, right? San Jose State against that buzzer beater game. We're talking about it. Wear the Reds, man. Who cares? Who cares?
I think there's this fear that like the game's too close against a team that you absolutely should beat, and like one of these games we're gonna get bitten because of it. I think that's sort of the fear that people have with it. And
don't be scared. Don't be scared.
I love the red jerseys too, but I gotta admit I'm a little superstitious as well. So yeah, I'm not sure how many times I want to break out that red jersey.
Hey, they weren't wearing red when Utah State beat us at home. They weren't wearing red then.
True, but Utah State's a much better team than Air
we
Force.
win when we wear the red. Maybe we should have wore red against Utah State, man. No matter how you win, you get the win. Let's go. Maybe
No,
the
that's
red are
fair.
actually lucky. Maybe they're actually lucky.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why don't we test it out like against a really good team instead of always wearing it against a team that we should beat, and if we lose to them, that's gonna kill our chances for at-large bid, and it's just gonna be a really, really ugly stain on our record.
DJ Dub, Chicago Bulls look. Yeah, those Bulls throwbacks in that style, man. Those are hot. Jeremy, what's going on? Love the fear of the red. Cracks me up. You know. And of course, yeah, Malachi saved us, man. Malachi saved us. Okay, another question I see in the chat, and something, when you win, doesn't really matter. But look, this isn't the greatest win of all time. This is not the Final Four. This is not winning in the pit on a buzzer beater. So, I mean, this is not going to rank up there with those buzzer beaters. But for this team this year, the youth, and like I said, the obstacles that they had to go through, it's kind of like you put yourself in that bad position, but then you came out okay on the end of it. Somebody asked, okay, well, who was it? JK? I think JK said, how many minutes did Heidi play? He played 10 minutes, got in foul trouble. He had 4 boards, which is, pretty good for that amount of time that he was in there. It's a process, you got to keep learning.
He couldn't stop the big guy down low. The big guy kept backing him down, and then he would, I think he reached for a pass, entry pass, and he reached, and we got a lot of ticky-tack fouls in this game. And when you're a aggressive defensive team that likes to try to steal the ball, swipe at the ball, then you're being reffed by ticky-tack refs, it works against you. And we saw that last night because of all the fouls that stacked up. And usually, veteran teams will adjust to that. So if they're being reffed very close, then okay, they back off a little bit. They understand, if I keep doing this, I'm going to foul out, or I'm going to, we're going to get in the bonus. We're going to let them get in the bonus quicker and things like that. We're, a young team. So, you got guys, on the perimeter who are trying to steal the ball 25 feet from the basket when they're not a threat out there, right? What's the risk reward with that? And then you got to consider the refs that they're calling it so close that it really doesn't make sense to make that play at that point. But again, a more veteran team is going to understand that. And that's really up to the coaches to really reinforce that to a younger team in the huddles. Like, hey, guys, stop reaching on the perimeter. You're going to get called for a foul. These are not the refs to be doing that against. And so, I don't know if that happened or not, but it didn't really change a whole lot because we accumulated a lot of fouls in both halves. And that's what ultimately led to a lot of key guys fouling out, and, us having to run with our reserves, guys in the rotation to finish out that game. And just thank God we came out of it with the victory.
To your point, Miles Bird, 4 fouls, but obviously, getting officiated in a way that sat him on the bench, and it's a frustrating thing to see. I know we all see it more than other fan bases. I made the point, look, we're getting more foul calls on the road than we were at home, like against Air Force. Like, what's the deal with that? But
again, I think it comes down to our style of defense, though.
Yeah,
and we're so aggressive. And sometimes we're late. We're not rotating quick enough, and then we reach, and that leads to a foul. And the other thing is, they were doing a really good job of like back cutting us when we would get up, on them, and then they use that to their advantage because then they were getting some easy layups at the hoop because we were guarding too close. So yeah, it's just something. I thank God we don't have to play them again this year. Who knows about the tournament, but we've already played them twice. We only have to play them one more time at Clune Arena, and then we're done probably forever because I don't ever see us going back there scheduling an out of conference game. So, you know, we're almost there. We're almost done with Air Force, which is I think going to be good for us.
Yeah, and to JK's point, we got to be more disciplined on those defensive gambles. I don't think it's a Mountain West ref type of thing situation. I mean, there's plenty of other teams in the Mountain West that are leaving for the Pac-12. I don't think there's any animosity there or anything like that. But Jared, for sure, as frustrating as this season has been, it is a really fun ride. This team is fun. They're crazy talented. You see it out there. He says he can't wait till they put it all together. As we mentioned before, Fiend, it's a process. I loved what Ziegler reported on in their practice coming into this game. All those deep threes, the images that were posted up so the team can visually see and kind of learn in their minds, okay, you're out here on the court. What are the shots they should be taking at the times they should be taking it? Towards the end of the game, they attack the rim more. I feel like, from just the eyeball test, not looking at the numbers of points in the paint or anything like that. But that was something to me that was just so frustrating in this game. I know some of the chatter on our last article was, as far as free throws and attempts and then 3-point shooting. And, I get it. The game is changing, right? 3-pointers are what they are. You're going to shoot a lot of them in this modern game. And, like what we were talking about during the week, Fiend, teams want to run you off the 3-point line. I'm old school. I want to go hard in the paint. I want to attack the paint, whether it's with your big men or with your guards, penetrate and dish, or just take it up strong, get that contact. It doesn't seem like we do that enough. But like I said, I know the game is changing to a more 3-point shooting contest. I don't like that though. We're not in the NBA. We're not talking about NBA players that are going to be constantly hitting threes. How do you find that balance? I'm racking my brain.
I mean, it's just going to be a concerted effort by the players, especially the guys who had the ball in their hands. A guy like Miles Bird to not take so many deep threes. I mean, again, this game took a couple of shots that were like, that's not really a great, great shot selection there. And I know he has range, but at the same time, we're not hitting a lot of threes, and he didn't hit a lot in this game. So maybe we need to, revisit have a different strategy and either put it on the floor and try to get through the hard way, or step a little closer to the line, because we had a little more space on some of those shots to be able to hit a three. I'll just be honest. I was looking at, I'm a stats guy, so I'm a nerd in that respect, but I was looking at like kind of the KenPom numbers for this year's team and then comparing them to previous Aztec teams. And, what really jumps out at me, 2017, 2018 are the only 2 years in the last 10 years that we've lost at Air Force. Okay. And we didn't go to the tournament either one of those years. And we almost lost this one. Very, very close. But when you look at some of the core metrics between like that 2017 team that went 19-14 versus this year's team, it's kind of alarming. I'll be honest. When you look at like the assists to like field goals made, like we don't assist a lot, and that team didn't either. They didn't shoot a very good 3-point shot. I don't want to totally diss them, but that year you had what's his name? Who were some of the guys on that 2017? Trey Kell. Yeah, Trey Kell shooting 26%, and he was like chucking up a ton of threes, and a lot of them were not like assisted threes, so I see a lot of similarities between that team and this team, and it kind of concerns me, especially because they didn't have like a real dominant post presence either. I think we had Valentine Azundu, right? And then, we're not getting it into JCJ. Like he's playing more on the perimeter, right? We don't have a solid like post game. And so the similarities there are kind of glaring. And I'll be honest, it's kind of worrying me because, you know, we've got a tough stretch here of some games in the Mountain West. And if we don't play better, especially on the offensive end and share the ball and get good looks and take good shots on the road, well, there's a very good chance that we're going to lose some games like we did that year.
That's so interesting. You bring up that year. That I remember having Ben Perez on the team, Benny Perez, who later went on. Where did he go to Iona or something like that?
Yeah,
and he was like that 3-point shooter, right? Who obviously was kind of playing above his head. I think, right? He later transferred, and I kind of look at maybe Ferrari, right? He got a lot of minutes in that game last night.
Didn't he look great?
Similar. He looked great, but it's kind of a similar situation, right? You get a guy in there who could hit the 3 ball, puts that extra pass out there, moves the ball around, plays the way that you really want to see the ball movement like that.
Yeah.
But physically, like a Ben Perez, he's not gonna get those minutes just because athletically he's not up to par on that level. But with Ferrari, I feel like he's got that edge as far as his quickness, his all those intangibles.
And
he looked good out there.
And I've said this several times. I mean, I think throughout, since we've been doing the pod, that 2018 team with Trey Kell, like he wasn't having a great shooting year, and he just decided halfway through the year, I'm just going to facilitate and I'm going to get my other guys involved. And we're going to share the basketball and we're going to get good looks and that's how we're going to win. And we didn't lose until we played Houston. We strung together all these victories. We looked great throughout that whole stretch, won the Mountain West tournament, so it can happen, but our guys they have to believe in sharing the basketball. We're over dribbling. We're not getting into our sets really quick. It just kind of lags. And then last 10 seconds, we're scrambling to get off a shot. That hurts your offensive metrics. And so, that's something that I think they really need to take a hard look at. And hopefully they do. And hopefully the coaches do. Hopefully the coaches, help them along with that so that we can get more efficient on the offensive end.
Definitely. Guys, before we move on, just want to take this time, remind you guys, saving 15% off in the shop, sonsofmontezuma.com, using the promo code MONTY. We've been sending out some, I know we sent out a hat, a hoodie, a couple different NIL, Magoon shirts and all that good stuff this week. So definitely check that out. Save 15% off the non-NIL items. And just use that promo code at the bottom. You see it running down there on the ticker, MONTY at checkout. Before we move forward, hey, let's take another look back on that shot from Mike's perspective. I love Mike when he goes hard in the paint with these little game recaps. He couldn't join us today. He's running out of town. Stood us up, man. Stood us up. Nah, we're joking with you.
The Gorville inbounds. McKinney, 2 seconds, all the way to the basket, layup, around and down, count it! No way! At the horn, and San Diego State survives!
Dude, are you kidding me? Like, I don't really get, too up and down on games. I was like, wow. You know what I mean? I think everybody was, whoa. Last second shot after the tip-in to put him up by 1. McKinney goes coast to coast. Tyus Edney, with the layup to win it at the buzzer. Mountain West mayhem. We survived without our 2 best players for the last few minutes of the game and overtime. Unbelievable stick-to-itiveness by this team. Hey, big win. You know where we're off to? East Tahoe. I'm going to see you boys on Saturday night, courtside. Dap me up. Let's go, State.
Did you say
dap me up?
Did you say dap me up? A little dap me up?
Come on, Holmes, dap me up.
So Mike will be out there in Reno Saturday, of course, East Tahoe, his stomping ground. I'm excited for him. He's going to have courtside, be in attendance courtside to see the team. Hopefully they will dap him up. Hopefully they will dap him up. Oh boy. So Nevada, really quickly, let's go over Nevada just a little bit because here's the thing. As great as this victory was against Air Force Fiend, it's not going to be that. We're not going to have this type of outcome if we play this way against Nevada. Now, Nevada just got stomped. They just got beat down. They got beat down by Utah State, right? I mean, Utah State is super legit. 90-69. That game was in Reno, right? I think that game was in Reno.
I think that was in
Was that on the
Utah
road?
State. Yeah, it was on the road, I think.
Okay.
Did you see the stat line for Utah State? Like,
I mean, as far as their scoring leaders, like individually on the team,
they had 27 assists to like 8 turnovers.
Oh,
like Mason Falslev had 11 assists and only 1 turnover. I mean, that's finding your teammates, man. That they scored 90 points off of that. I mean, they're really cooking right now. That team is they're trusting each other. They're playing basketball the right way, and they're beating the crap out of teams. I mean, look at 90-69 at home, just destroyed them. And the thing is, Nevada shot well. They shot really well against them. They shot 42% from 3.
Yeah.
Almost 43%, 53% field goal. And they shot 88.9% from the line, and they lost by 21.
It's just all offense. All offense.
Oh, they turned it over. They turned it over a bunch. So that was sort of the difference, in the game there was the turnovers for them. But Utah State, man, wow. I mean, they're playing at another level right now. And I hate to give them credit. I do.
Oh, I do too. I do too, man. I mean, it's frustrating knowing that they lost that one game. Then they get humbled, right? They got humbled, but they picked it back up. They turn around and now they're starting a new streak. If we look at the standings really quick, of course, New Mexico has jumped ahead at 8-1. Utah State right there. Colorado State. Now that game's coming up soon. I was glad that they got the victory though, because that they beat Boise, who had a furious comeback. And I was glad Colorado State got that win, because that's going to make things just a little more spicy when we get out there to Fort Collins, right? So Boise looks like they're starting to head back to the middle of the pack. And us at 5-3, this is a big game. We got to beat Nevada. We want to continue to be right there on the cusp of the top 2-3 spots. So we'll see.
It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a really tough game.
It's going to be a really tough game.
Because, and if you look at the KenPom rankings, they've got us losing 65-64 at Nevada, losing at Colorado State 67-66, and losing at Utah State 72-68. 3 losses left on the schedule. All of them away. I mean, these are tough games. Nevada, like I said, if we perform the way that they did against Air Force, it's not going to be a happy outcome. I hope people are prepared for that. And, what do you say? What do you say if that were to be the case? Now, because I'm saying it, right, we're going to come out and we're going to play well in Reno, right? It's going to happen. But Davidson, man, he's a problem. 19 points up against Utah State. Who do you see covering him? Is that going to be JCJ, right? Yeah, I think Davidson is there. Yeah, he's what, 6'10"? Yeah.
230.
Probably JCJ. He's a smart ball player too. He's really crafty. It's gonna be tough to stop him. They got some other really good players. Kobe Sanders is a transfer, 6'9". He plays kind of like a point guard. Great player. He's
that might be like a goon matchup, right? Maybe Magoon be covering him, 6'9", 207.
Xavier Dussel, who we recruited or I don't know if we were hard recruiting him when he was coming out of where he was at Wyoming, and then I think Fresno State, and then he finally landed at Nevada. But he can shoot the ball from deep, and he's always killed us when we played him, going back to like his freshman year when he was at Wyoming. And then they've got KJ Hines, another big guy, 6'10". It's really good.
Who do you think's on who thinks on Ducell? Is that maybe Bird? Bird line up with him probably.
Probably BJ Davis.
Really, you think?
Yeah, because they have a pretty tall lineup, I believe. I mean, they got a lot of guys that are like 6'6", 6'7", and above. So pretty tall lineup. So yeah, I don't think Bird would be matched up against a guy who's smaller than him. Probably someone who's taller. So it's gonna be a tough game, man. Really tough game, and we know that last year. That was a tough loss for us on the road. So,
well,
hopefully they can turn things around here.
Thank you to JK and Mel for recognizing that Shook One's Mob Deep track. I've been listening to that one this week. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay. We listen. JCJ, come on. Do we really need to talk about this? What do we think about JCJ waving at the troops against Air Force after he took that player and body slammed him? Okay, he didn't body slam him, but gave that pick. Is this something we really need to talk about?
No, I thought he was waving to the fans or the stands. Actually, I don't think he was doing that to the troops. No.
Well, I mean, if they're in the stands, they're usually the troops, right? It's there on the academy. But there was nobody there.
There was no one there, though. He was waving to no one in that arena. That's why I was busting on him and on Twitter X, because there wasn't anyone there to wave to. So I think that's a big non-deal.
Yeah, and it was a serious question put out there on X. Some people do take this very seriously, right? You shouldn't be showing disrespect. You're playing an academy. But I have to disagree with this. I mean, it's a sport. It's a basketball game. We're not doing any kind of military exercises here. There is a certain respect that you do show on the court. As soon as that game is done, you saw them lining up.
Yeah.
And the CBS Sports and all the broadcasters, they will specifically show it out of respect and honor, and everybody lines up and they play their ceremonial song and all that good stuff. But no, I mean, it's a game. It's a basketball game. You got to play free. You got to play fun. And I did see the comment or the question, kind of upset about that. That's not something we do at San Diego State. Come on, who are you holding that up to at San Diego State? We've seen different antics or just expressions of just, fun and winning the game and making a key play, physically knocking down a guy because you set a pick. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't think it was anything vulgar or disrespectful at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you had flipped him the bird, then okay, maybe. But just waving, no, I don't think that's a big deal.
And on top of that, you never know if something was said to him. You just never know, right? It had to be chirping. Hey, see you guys. You never know. So anyways, it wasn't at the troops. There was a corner heckling him when he was battling their big Andrew. Thank you, Simpkins, for chiming in with that. And that's what I'm saying. It's a game. I'm sure there had to be some chirping. If I was the only one in the arena and San Diego State was coming to town, I'd be giving them the business as much as I could to try and get in their heads. So, hey, we're everybody's Final Four game. We're everybody's Super Bowl. So this was the biggest game by far for Air Force all season long.
For sure. They had only won 3 games. I have never paced back and forth in my living room at this point in the season against a team that has only won 3 games. You don't understand. They beat Jacksonville State. Shout out, was it Connor Cook? I think he's like a media guy there now for like their athletic department. Mercyhurst, they just moved up to Division 1. So you can't expect them to be very good. And then Stony Brook from Long Island. Those are the only 3 games that they've won all year. So it must have been just heartbreaking for them to lose last night on the fashion that they lost.
Oh yeah, you can see we had to they had to pick themselves up off the court, man. You know, it is what it is, man. They put everything out there on the court and they left it there, and only one team could win. Only one team can win, and that was the Aztecs. It had to be. It had to be. Because they wore the red, dude. Because they wore the red.
It's the only answer.
That's it. It's the only one. Anyways, guys, appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button before we sign off. And, I'm excited for this game against Nevada. I wish we were there to watch it with Mike, and hopefully he slaps the Wolfpack mascot across his snout or whatever his nose is again. And hopefully they can come out with a win. I mean, Nevada at home for some reason always been a tough place for the Batcave. Has always been tough for us, and it's going to be a tough one again. So hopefully Mike can represent well.
Yeah, I'm sure he's glad that I'm not there too, because the last year we almost got beat up after the game, but
we almost didn't get beat up. We didn't almost get beat up.
You don't think so? After what I did?
It could have been a scuffle, but hey, you don't know. We could have taken on everybody, man.
I was nervous.
Nervous. Don't be nervous, Fiend. We had your back, dude. We had your back.
Uh-huh.
All right. Hey, yo, SG Sports Fiend, do you think Davis should run point guard with the rock in his hands more? Do you think he should be facilitating and creating and all that?
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see him do that more. I don't know what was up at the end of the first half there, where he was just like staring into space with like 4 seconds left, and then he just chucked up a really long three. But generally, I think he does a really good job of moving the ball, and he's got great ball handling skills, and I love his quickness to be able to get in the lane. And usually he hits shots. That was a big issue for us yesterday, was just that our top 3 guys were all off from 3-point range. And so that really hurt us in the game. So yeah, I would love to see the ball in BJ Davis's hands more.
Yeah. And it seemed like obviously they were giving Taj a lot of freedom to create as well. And his playmaking ability is for being a freshman, I like it. All right, Bill, what's going on? Fiend, Air Force will make you and a lot of other Aztecs pace the room if they're shooting 44 free throws in the game. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I feel like we went over that a little bit, but 30 for 44 is insane.
You know that stat that like Fisher used to have, that we're going to make more free throws than they take? They flipped the script on us. I mean, they made more than we took, and that was almost a difference in the game. Yeah, if they hit their free throws, they win by like 10 points in this game. 8 to 10 points.
Well, that is something we talked about. We are dead last in the Mountain West for free throw attempts. I don't know what it looks like after this game, but I'm pretty safe to say we're probably still dead last, because it didn't seem like it was even that close. It was like us and then Colorado State, which Colorado State's a good team as well, right? But go figure. All right, everybody. Well, Nevada, Saturday. I want to say 7 o'clock Pacific time. Got to box out much better if they want to win against Nevada. That's for sure, Andrew.
For sure.
This is gonna take a much better effort. Can't say that enough. Hopefully, this is the game. Hopefully, this is the game that they start to put it together and realize you got to play as a team. And it could be anybody's night. It could be Wayne's, it could be Taj, it could be BJ, and they've done it without Bird and Boyd out there on the court. So hopefully that does something for the confidence. But it's going to be another interesting teaching week for Coach Dutcher and the staff. They got their hands full.
The other thing with Nevada is they were, I think, expected to be, I don't know what their preseason ranking in the Mountain West was, but they were expected to be better than this. They're sitting at 8th place. They're 3-5 in the conference. 11-8 overall. I could easily see them seeing, this is the game that we're taking a stand, and it's just going to make it that much harder for us to get that victory. So these guys got to understand what they're walking into, and they got to come out prepared, locked in with energy, ready to play as a team, and ready to knock these guys off, because it is not going to be easy getting this dub on the road.
Many people pick them to win the conference.
Yeah.
They beat up with that Santa Clara team that who was it? Did Santa Clara beat Gonzaga?
Yeah.
Oh,
Lord. Sure did.
So, like you said, man, they got talent, they got size, they've got a veteran coach that loves to play us, and they're coming home after embarrassing loss to Utah State. They're gonna need to come home.
It's like all the ingredients that go into like a team that's just really fired up and ready to play.
Regardless, they're gonna be up for us. So, oh yeah, gotta love it. All right, everybody, I want to thank you guys for joining us. Just want to take a couple minutes and talk about this crazy buzzer beater game. Wayne McKinney, very happy to see him get this shot. The local guy, wanted to be here at State, wanted to be an Aztec. And obviously, if you guys saw him at Swish League this summer, you're pulling for the guy. He's got a lot of talent. Of course, when he's hot, he's hot. So hopefully you continue to roll that into this game. We're going to need it against Nevada Saturday, 7 o'clock. I'm not sure where we're going to be watching it around town locally, but we'll put something out if you guys want to join. And we look forward to always connecting with you guys, all you sons of Montezuma out there. All right, on behalf of Mike Tortolot, Mike, next time we'll see you, get a report, hopefully Sunday night, get a report live from East Tahoe out there in Reno, the Bat Cave, and hopefully Mike will give us back a good report of an Aztec victory. SD Sports Fiend, I'm Mateo San Diego. Guys, have a great night. Let's go Aztecs. Let's get that dub. Let's go.
Go Aztecs. Get a win in the Bat Cave.
The Bat Cave. See you guys.